Hi, it's Sandra at Huron Ridge, and today I'm in my garden to talk to you a little bit about tomato blight. A lot of gardeners in the area, myself included, have had real problems the last few years with tomato blight. If you're not sure if you've had tomato blight, the answer is you haven't, because once you've got it, you definitely know. Your plants will mature beautifully, you get lots of great fruit looking on them until about July, end of July, and then all of a sudden the blight hits and your vines die and you basically end up with no tomatoes. So, if you've had this same problem that I've had, there are a few things you need to know about tomato blight. One is tomato blight travels as spores in the air. It lands on your ground and infects your soil. So once your plants have tomato blight, if you continue to work the ground, after the season's done, if you work in your dead plants, you're just reintroducing more spores into your soil, and the problem will continue. The spores can live in your ground for 3 to 4 years, so it's something that takes a long time to get rid of, and you have to be really diligent about it. So because of the 3 to 4 year thing, it's really important that you are very diligent in removing any debris of plants from your garden, and that you either burn them or put them in a garbage bag and get rid of them through your garbage, because if you just compost them, you're contributing to the problem year after year. So now that you know you've got tomato blight, here are a few things that you can do to help minimize its effects on your plants and your crop. So one key factor in helping to reduce the ability for spores to get onto your leaves is to stake your plants. Either stake them or put them in a tomato cage. I've got some stakes here, really simple. You want to put your stake nice and close to the base of your plant. And then you can either use twine or string, whatever works for you to hold your plant up. Because you really want to get good ventilation around the leaves. That's what's going to really help to minimize the effects of spores. If the plants are wet and the moisture is really dense around the base of the plant, it's just a breeding ground for that fungus to get on your leaves and to cause some real problems. So try to get your plant up off the ground as much as you can. And the other thing that you want to do is, if you've got a bunch of really low-lying branches on your tomato, is you want to pick them off. So it's really pretty simple. You just got to clean it up a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to strip your plant too badly, but you want to reduce some of those low-lying branches so that you can get better ventilation. This tomato plant's got quite a bit of fruit on it already, so it's pretty heavy, and I can only do so much to get it up off the ground. So now that I've got my plant up off the ground, there's a couple things I should know about watering. If I use a sprinkler system to water my plants, you're going to cause a lot of splashing, which just contributes to the spores getting onto the leaves of your plant, which is the problem. So you want to water by hand at the base of the plant if you're watering. Evidently, it's going to rain, which is a good thing. We need summer rains, but when that heavy rain happens, the spores can splash up onto your plants. So I can recommend that you would either use mulch or wood chips, something like that, around the base of your plants. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some mulch to the base of my tomatoes now. Okay, so this doesn't have to be fancy. All we're really trying to do is get the leaves above the mulch and the mulch on top of the soil so that those spores can't get up through nearly so easily. So now here's the most important component in fighting blight. You have to spray your tomatoes. I know you don't want to, but you gotta. It's copper sulfate. You mix it according to the directions on the container. It's water soluble. Get yourself a little pump. If you only have 1 or 2 tomatoes, you can probably just get, a spray bottle at the dollar store, whatever works for you. But I've got like 15 tomato plants, and it requires a little more than a hand sprayer can do. So copper sulfate needs to be applied weekly or after a heavy rain. So weekly for sure. If it rains real heavy in the middle, apply it again. And you're just going to give your plants a real good spray. Make sure you get nice and low to the branches. You only want to mix this up as you use it, because it doesn't last as well once it's mixed in the container. So mix it as you use it. Use as much as you feel you need to spray all the leaves really well. And again, you're going to do this every week or more often if you get a heavy rain in the middle. If you really prefer to be an organic gardener, do some research on vegetable oil and baking soda sprays. I've read good things about it, but I haven't tried it myself, so make sure you do your research. And that's really what you have to do to try to fight the tomato blight. I know it's a lot of extra gardening work for us, but once we've got those fresh, juicy tomatoes in the summertime, I know it'll all be worth it. Thanks so much for watching, and happy gardening.